We're going to record this so that for those that could not join us, they might want to listen to what was said when they have the spare time to do that. I see Mark walking into the office now, and he's turning on his laptop. And I hope everybody's been out spreading the gospel of Saint X39 all week. I know a few people have, and they've been really working it. And Mr. Bob Alls is one of those. We're going to hear from him in a minute. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know that that Mark's getting online right now. Let me tell you the purpose of what we're doing tonight is we've had a lot of new people join our team in the last just a few weeks. And I thought it was time to start meeting some of the people face to face and also giving the people a chance to ask questions that might have come to them at this point. Because a lot of new people have got tons of questions. And so that's the purpose of this. And what I want to do as soon as Mark gets back on is that I want to try to start with those brand partners who have come in just in the last 30 days. Start with them and give them a chance to ask any questions that they might have. And then we'll come back to those that have been in the business for a while, because I can tell you I've been in the business now just over 5 months, and I still get questions asked to me all the time. So I know Mark's working it. I've got my partner right there sitting beside me. That's Miss Susan. She normally likes me to keep the camera off of her, but I have to do that every now and then. We've had some great testimonies over the last couple of weeks. Matter of fact, they're coming in all the time. And we'll hear from some of them here in just a few minutes. Mark's probably.
There's old David Kirkley. Hey,
Hello.
honey.
Hello, David.
Hello.
See Mary Lou. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I know Mark's working to get online, but for any of you that have been in the business for under 30 days, there's Mark. Mark, what we're just talking about is I want to start with I want to start with those people that have been in the business less than 30 days, the new people, to try to get any questions that they've got answered, and then we will work our way to those old timers. I guess the old timers are classified as those that's been in the business longer than 30 days. Okay. I'm a real old timer. I've been in just a little over 5 months now. So if you've been in, we're also going to get some testimonies here in a little while. But right now, I want to focus on questions and answers, or questions. And we do have with us today our upline senior presidential director, Mr. Mark Delgado. Wave at us, Mark. There you go. And Mark's the guy that's got all the answers. And so I want all of you to wear him out with questions. So if you've been in less than 30 days, how about identify yourself, give us your name and basically where you live, and tell us what your questions are. Ooh, ooh, nobody's got questions. You also, you'll have to unmute yourself if you've got questions. Come on, some of you are brand new. I know you got to have questions. Either that or you forgot that you became a brand partner. So well, Mark, it was a great Zoom tonight, and we really appreciate you showing up and helping us. And we're going to go ahead and end the Zoom now because it was really good for you to drop in and help us out. Okay, thank you, Mark. I think Monica's going to say something.
I am. I'm asking.
This is Monica. Oh, everybody, this is Monica Moore from
Bridgeport, Texas.
Bridgeport. Okay, Monica.
I have a daughter that is pregnant, and she has Crohn's, and I was curious if this product would be safe for her to use. I was reading on the website that it said not to use if you're pregnant or nursing.
Mark? Okay.
Can you hear me, Don? There you go. Okay,
Yes,
there we go.
yeah.
All right. Now the company's going to tell you, since they don't have any type of case studies on being pregnant, or that we don't heal, we don't cure. If you have a transplant, we don't recommend that. But there are tons and tons of people that one you're looking at here that's hosted, that's had a kidney transplant, that it's working phenomenal for. You have people that are pregnant that have been using it. The whole thing is with the X39, and you try to educate somebody, is that the company's going to tell you that they don't recommend it because they don't have any case studies to back up anything. So they're never going to tell you, more for legality reasons. You as an individual, if you're not uncomfortable, go talk to your doctor. But on the other hand, is that with the X39 and any other patch that we have, it is non-transdermal, so nothing goes into the body. You don't have to be worried about anything. There's no contradictions you're going to have with any medications that you're taking, because nothing goes in the system. It's primarily the device that aids the body to increase the copper peptides in the body, the CHK-Cu copper peptides, as well as it's going to then increase and reactivate your stem cells. And it's the stem cells that are the cells in the body that's the master cell that's going to go heal things. And that's where we hear so many miracles, in a sense, from individuals from all aspects of illness and sickness and pain and discomfort. It's just a wide variety. So if it's Crohn's, I wish my sister, she passed when she was 50. She had Crohn's, suffered from it. I just wish this technology was around when she had it, because I wouldn't even give it a second thought. I would have just stuck a bunch of patches on her, just go, hey, you got nothing to lose. And you have more to gain than you have anything to lose, because nothing's going in your body. Just let the body heal itself.
Hey, Mark, let me add a little bit to that for Monica. Yep. Monica, when we were introduced to this product, we actually got introduced because my wife had a bad heel, and it had gotten to where it was hard for her to wear a shoe with the back on it. And we've known Mark for 20 years, almost 20 years. And we knew what he was doing, although we didn't really understand what he was doing. We didn't know much about stem cells or why he was involved and so forth. But anyway, my wife asked me one evening, do you think what Mark's doing can help my heel? And I said, I don't have a clue, but I'll call Mark. I called him. He said, yeah, it can. It might take a little time, but yeah, it can. It can restore it, And so we got her set up and got her patches in. And I refused to use them because I had a kidney transplant 2 years ago. And at our transplant clinic, all of the specialists, doctors, and everybody up there always tells us, don't take anything that we don't recommend. We don't want you to harm your kidney and the rejection of your kidney. So I stayed away from it. But then I really realized that nothing from the patches entered my body or my bloodstream. Once I realized that, I didn't call them to ask them. I said, I'm going to take that. If nothing's going into me, it's just helping keep things in me that's already in me. So I started taking the X39 patch. And let me tell you what happened to that. I wasn't even expecting this to happen. This was in October. At the end of November, I had my monthly metabolic panel blood test. That's a series of tests that tracks the kidney and liver functions so that my specialist could keep track of what was happening with me and rejections and so forth. And when I took my test in November, for the first time in over 5 years, 3 years before my transplant and 2 years after my transplant, for the first time in over 5 years, everything came back normal. Everything. And that's the first time it had happened in over 5 years. And so I said then, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I wonder how that happened, And I was hoping I knew. I said, but let's see what happens going forward. So in November, December, January, February, and March, they all came back normal. 5 years. We're the best doctors in the world at UT Southwestern, and Big Pharma could not restore my health totally. The X39 did. So I can't tell you that she should take the patch, but as Mark said, nothing's going into that body. If it was mine, I would say, let's give it a whirl. But anyway, that's kind of my testimony also wrapped up in my wife's heel. She's wearing shoes again now. Anyway, any more questions?
I have one. Can you hear me?
Yes, who is we?
Yes.
Judy Reams.
Oh, Judy, okay.
I have a question. I've been in it for 3 days.
Okay.
When you approach someone, you approach them about the patch and how good the patch is, and you want to, you're selling the patch, but when do you approach them about wanting to start selling the patch?
Okay, that's a great question. One is you have to determine the position of that person. Like, say someone like Donny. I know Donny, I know his background. I would, I initially on every conversation, I lead with the technology. I lead with the patch. I lead with the life change. That's what I do. Now, I'll also throw in, and if the individual and even inquires or they say something about that they're struggling financially, if they bring it up as like, okay, it's an opportunity for me to at least let them know that there is market share dollars attached to this because the product works so well, but it's the majority. I'll say probably 90% of all our discussions are about the patch and the life change. Now, dependent on the conversation, I may lead into saying, hey, by the way, there is market share dollars here that you can benefit and get your products for free. That's another way that I'll approach somebody that I'm not sure if they want to do the business or not, but at least most people like to get their stuff for free. And I go, you can potentially get your stuff for free. If you come across someone that or family member that would like to know more, I'd be more than happy to answer their questions. I still don't emphasize business because a lot of times with individuals, when you jump into business, you're going to scare them away. because they attach, oh gosh, I may have to do something, or is it one of those things and they just got a preconceived notion. So I really want the patch to edify to them that, man, this thing works. And then they'll gradually move themselves into a business. But there are individuals that you will talk to that, I had one this week. My whole conversation was business. And then I finished off with the patch. It's like, hey, if you don't see value in the business for yourself, definitely get on the patch, because the patch is going to change your life. And so I backdoor the patch to get him on the patch, give him the courtesy to say, hey, if he doesn't want to do the business, that's okay. But let's just get on the patch. And I have a fee, and internally, I believe that the patch is going to do what it's designed to do. And then we'll get them where he'll start sharing and maybe get it into the business. But I very seldom go straight in talking business.
Judy, let me throw my 2 cents in on that. Because different people will have different methods. And I've been in this industry for 29 years and I feel like I know it pretty good. When I'm going to approach someone, unless it's someone that I'm in and about and find someone that's got a real medical issue, then I go exactly to what Mark said. But if I've got someone that's been in my circle of networking for a long time and I know them, I am not going to pick up the phone and call them and try to tell them what I'm doing and convince them what I'm doing. I'm going to use the videos. I'm going to let the tools that we have for us do all the work. You might say, well, that's kind of lazy. No, well, maybe it is, but I know how to be effective. We've got videos that, I would call you, Judy, and I'd tell you that, hey, I'm involved in an awesome opportunity business, and I'd like to send you a little information on it. Can I do that? Yeah, okay. Then I've got a standard couple of videos that I will use. And if you're new and if I haven't already sent you those videos, shame on me, because I send people, the new people, the videos that I use, and then there's others that they can find also. But I'll send you 2 videos. One is a short 3-minute business overview, and another one is a panel of doctors commenting on this technology. So, and if that's, to my opinion, that's the best way to introduce the business to a networker. Okay, is you not try to convince them. Let them see it on the videos, and then you can provide them all kind of testimonies. So again, I try to send all new IBOs on the new team the 3 videos that I use. So don't take what we send out, take it seriously. Okay, that's how I would do it, and Mark would do it also that way unless it was someone that he was trying to approach about their wellness.
Yeah,
Hey, Donnie.
yeah,
Yeah.
just use the tools. As Donnie said, use the tools. The success system's there for a reason. The school platforms, all the videos are there. Use what we have and let that third party credibility be your running back. I mean, it's going to provide them the information, and then when they have questions or whatever, then you can get Donnie or myself and let us, talk to them, and we can educate them about the business.
Yeah, one of the things that I try to send out to new people on a text message is what you should do the first day, not the second day, what you should do right now. And that's go to our team website called championmakers.com. And I've provided this to most everybody. If I haven't to you, you let me know. Go to championmakers.com and complete priority 1 and priority 2. Priority 1 is a text thread that links you to the very top people in our business, our organization. I'm talking about people that are earning $100,000, $200,000 a month plus. I'm talking about people that know what they're talking about. They didn't get lucky to get where they're at. They're smart, they know. And so they have a text thread that you're linking you to when priority 1, and then from time to time, you'll get a message from them. It's important, priority 1. Priority 2 is that you enroll for our another team website called School, SKOOL.com, or School app. Okay. And that's what I call your toolbox. That's got everything in it that you need to build your business. I mean, everything. Now, so that what I tell a new person, if you will go and do priority 1 and priority 2, you got my phone number, call me anytime. But if you're not willing to do priority 1 and priority 2, I'm not going to answer your call. That's how important that is.
Yeah, and the other one too, Donnie, is priority 4, because priority 3 is the Spanish one, but priority 4 is listening to the new brand partner training. And it's like a 30-40 minute training, but it walks somebody all the way through that. Now that you've just enrolled, and it walks you through the whole process through our success system. And typically I tell people, go through all those tabs, and when you're finished, call me, write all your questions after you watch the basic training. Because, I don't need to be the basic trainer, because we already have it on video and it's on that page.
Amen.
And it has to be duplicatable. I mean, me teaching is not duplicatable as you teaching, but you can direct somebody to a video that's duplicatable.
Oh, that's a great point. The system that we've got in place for us today with this LifeWave and with our team, I've never seen anything like it in network marketing. I've been at 29 years. I've never seen a team, I mean a system where you don't have to want for anything as long as you know where to go find it. That kind of help you a little, Judy?
Yes, it did. And I did watch a video, and I'm sorry I didn't write the lady's name down that I watched, but she said to have potential customers go to the website. This is, and I didn't write it down either. It's on my phone though.
This is it, team. This is it, info. This is it, info.com.
Yes, and I have someone that I've kind of been talking to, so I sent him that link, and I said, watch this, and I'll get back with you. So I'm going to follow up with him probably tomorrow, but that's kind of where I started. I don't know if that's the right way, but I sent that information to him.
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that, because you mentioned that, because I'm gonna say something really fast here. The conversation process, which is the success system, is that Judy, you're going to have a conversation like you did whoever you spoke with. Then you're going to ask a question, which is, what do you know about stem cell technology? Have you ever heard about phototherapy stem cells? So you ask a question. Then you explain to them what stem cells are, which is it's slide number 3 in the business presentation, which is, hey, they replace, replenish, and repair damaged cells. And then you tell at least 2 testimonies. I usually tell 3, but two's sufficient. And then you ask them, would you like to know more information? Well, at that point, if they say yes, you do what you just did. You send them, this is it. You send them the tool, which is the 1-page landing page that can answer all the questions. You send this is it, info.com. And then I always mention you can go as shallow or as deep as you want. If you're the smartest person in the room, all the information's there for you to get all your information to make a decision to get started. And then I just leave it at that. But I usually send a text when I do this. And if I just met you, I would ask you for your full name so I can put your name in my text. And that way later on, I know who that number is, or you're just going to have a lot of random numbers. And then you follow up with them the next day. And, when you follow up, don't ask a question of what did you think? You want to ask a positive question is, what did you like best about what you reviewed? And so you're trying to pull the good stuff of what they're wanting. And as soon as they ask one question, you would say, that's a great question. Is it, I'm just getting started. Is it okay if I have the people that are helping me reach out to you? I'll put us on a group thread, and, they can answer all your questions. And that's when you would get, whoever, Donny, myself, or whoever else, sponsored you, and we can, you introduce us to them, and we can, talk to them, get all their questions answered, and move them to the next step. Or you can also put us all, I have a lot of people on our team that, when they do that, when they send that this is it to somebody, they throw me in the text thread as well. And they introduce that person to me saying, hey, by the way, this is the person that's helping me. And so if you have any questions, you can reach out to him, and it has my number on that text thread. I'm on the text thread, then I respond to that text thread saying, hey, I'm excited that you have interest to learn more about this technology. Please reach out to me if you have questions. So they're tying me into the conversation. So, if Susan or Donny or one of them or your whoever enrolled you, you can tie them in to that text to keep, because the more you can get people introduced to other people, the more advantageous it is for you to move them to the next step.
Amen.
Hey, Donnie and Mark, Lori has her hand raised over there.
Yes. All
Lori, you
right.
have to unmute though.
Hey, Lori.
Do that. Hey there. Yeah, I have a question. I do watch the videos and the training, so I'm just apologizing ahead of time that I'm not understanding this and needing to ask this clarification question. I'm a 94-year-old woman who wants to sign up. She does not have a spouse. So in that instance, do I, with the monthly, well, I said, you said you not to call it auto ship, but that.
Yeah, the monthly reorder.
Yeah. So what do I do about that? Like, how much would I have her get if she's just single?
Okay. So if she's single and all you're going to do is just the X39, there are special circumstances where if they just want the X39, but typically someone in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, or 90s, I'm going to add Eon to that order.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get at least 2 Eons, and she'll have 2 X39s. And since she is single and that's just her, it's not going to be a big deal for me to push off her reorder the second month. So
Okay.
instead of getting the next month, I would push it back 2 months. So that way she has 2 months of X39s. She has 2 months of Eons, and then she'll get the X39. But if it's someone that I know that's gonna pursue this or in some form or fashion, there's no ifs or buts. You're doing a reorder of X39.
Okay. But if she did Eon and X39, that would cover her for binary, right? At least until a manager. She wants to tell people about it. And I guess at 90.
Oh yeah. She would be fine for 2 months. But you still have 30 days.
Yeah.
Because her order covers her for 30 days. So if she does stuff for the next 30 days, then I'd say, hey, we need to do a reorder so you stay as an active partner and you can start getting paid like you're supposed to. Because what happens is if someone does not reorder, like I say, if say she didn't do anything and she pushed it off and she didn't reorder, well, she goes inactive. She's still a brand partner, but she's an inactive brand partner. So if someone randomly went to her website and signs up as an advanced, the inactive brand partner doesn't get paid the $75.
Okay. I just want to make sure she was covered in case she
Correct.
did.
Yeah. So that's where you would want to monitor it yourself.
Okay. All right.
Ones you go, hey, you know what? Because I try not to scare these people. They're 94.
Exactly.
I'd say I'm going to push it. I'm just going to do your reorder 2 months from now. But if she really starts moving, then you go, hey, know what? Based on what's going on right now, we need to push that order back to 30 days so you can stay active and you can reap all the benefits from the marketing plan. But if she doesn't do much in 30 days, then it's not a big deal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Mark, I want to elaborate a little bit
Sure.
for the entire team about why it's important to maintain auto ship. Call it whatever you want to. I call it auto ship. Why it's important to maintain auto ship, especially if you're building this as a business. As you build the business, everyone on here I think knows you've got 2 teams, okay? And as those teams build down, that creates business volume, binary volume that flows all the way up into your binary. And that volume it accumulates. And I call it like putting it in the bank. That volume from everybody that's below you accumulates in your binary. And eventually you'll see the numbers, it keeps growing. And that number is a number that you can earn off of through your profit leg. And we'll go through that another time. But here's my point. As that volume grows, that's a pretty awesome thing. But if you cancel your auto ship for one complete month, you become inactive and all of that volume evaporates. It disappears. You lose it. So there's a lot of reasons to remain auto ship. If you're building it as a business, if you're just a customer, forget what I just said. But if you're building it as a business, you do not want your volume to evaporate. I know I would not be happy if I woke up tomorrow morning. I've got like $320,000 volume on mine, and Mark's way but millions up there. But I would be sick in the morning if I looked and I saw that $300,000+ gone, because I forgot to make sure that my credit card was still active and up to date. I didn't realize it was going to expire, and that put me in an inactive. So there's a lot of things you need to do as a business owner to do the due diligence to make sure everything stays active. So becoming auto ship is important. It's urgent as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. If you're doing this as a business, yeah, Donnie's right. You're going to that is just your business expense or business investment in your own business that, we're on consistent auto ship. Even we order more patches. I'll never change my auto ship, but I personally have turned my auto ship back to the first of the month. So just in case, something happens, with the card and I don't notice it didn't go through, but I know when my auto ships are coming, but I just had one this week. Person, he's been in the business. He's been using the product, but he's a brand partner since October. So he had probably close to about what Donnie had in his bank, and his card didn't go through. And he called me 2 days ago saying, "Hey, I haven't received my stuff," and I knew what happened. We're already into the fifth day of the month. His volume went to zero. He lost all his volume, and his volume now is like 30,000 or something.
Hey, Mark,
Yes.
if he had two cards listed, where it says add another card, would they have
I was just
gone?
going to say that too. Yes.
Okay.
So to prevent that, when you go into your back office and you click on monthly auto ship or monthly auto order, you click on payment and you can add an additional backup credit card just in case. But as a business owner, you should know when your auto ship is going to ship. And if you don't receive it within that week, something's happened. And then you need to really focus on what happened, because Donnie's right, man. When you realize I told this guy that was a lot of volume you just lost. I mean, you take that 300 divided by $330. We're just going to say that's what 1,000 cycles. Is that 1,000 cycles?
That's a bunch.
Yeah, it's a bunch of cycles, and then times that by 50. That's how much money was lost, just because you didn't do a $99 auto order. So don't be that person, because it is gut wrenching.
Susan, did you want to say something?
Well, I was just adding about that card. I have a question a little bit later, but I see Jennifer has her hand raised. Jennifer Danley.
I'm missing her.
Okay, can you hear me?
That's all right.
Yes.
Jennifer? Oh.
I got to switch back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, so
Turn your camera
I've
on,
been doing,
please.
I'm sorry?
Turn your camera on, please, if you can. No, not your camera. Okay, never mind.
Every time she does that, it mutes her.
Yeah,
Well, you got to hit there's an audio and a video.
Wow.
Okay, there you go, Jeff.
Well, at least we see your face, but now we see flowers, so we'll hear your
That's all
voice.
right. Just go ahead.
I don't know why on my phone it's a little funky. You
That's
either
okay.
hear me or you can see me, not
Yes.
both.
We can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So I've been doing the Facebook campaign,
Yes?
Yes.
the daily posts and stuff. And well,
Yes.
I've here and there, skipped a couple, but I just, keep on going with it. I've had a lot of people like thumbs up on my posts, but they don't ask for information. It's just kind of a thumbs up on, all the posts that I've put out there. And it's kind of like, well, do I reach out to them directly and be like, hey, do you want some extra information on this? Or just, keep feeding them? What's kind of the best approach on?
Let me flip that over to one of our leaders up in Maryland.
Okay.
Myron is doing that as good as anybody I know in our organization, working the Facebook posts and the responses and everything. So Myron, why don't you come on and just kind of tell us how you're handling that?
Well, if she's following that and not getting any responses, I would say don't worry about that. People are looking, people are seeing. It's just that they still have to, get to know you and what you're doing with your posts. So, I mean, but you can send them a private message, um, worded correctly. I wouldn't just spam them with any links or anything like that. I would just say, hey, I saw that you gave me a thumbs up. I was just curious. Uh, would you like to know more information about it? But me personally, I don't reach out to people who don't ask for the information. Just keep going. I took a course kind of in social media where she gave the analogy of you walking through the woods down a path. There's nothing out there but you, but the animals and everything around you, they see you. But you don't want to scare them by when you finally see an animal or something peep his head out like they do, with the thumbs up or whatever. You don't want to get off the path and chase that person because they will go, she kind of had the analogy where then all the other animals will see that reaction to that
Oh my
and,
God.
and kind of be a little turned off by it. So just stay the course, keep doing your post, and try not just to stay on the path until they feel safe to come out and approach you. So how long have you been in the business, or how long have you been doing these posts?
As far as the posts, and yeah, I figured out how to unmute and keep my camera on. Yay. um, I guess I've been doing the post for 20 days now. I'm on the 20, or I've missed a couple in between, but I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. I've been in the business now about 3 months. Okay, 4 months since end of December.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I've got some incredible testimony stories, and I mean, I have my own. I'm building my own, but some of my best friends have had just incredible experiences with the patches very quickly, and that they're kind of selling. They're kind of talking to people for me, and unfortunately, these friends, a couple of these friends of mine, they're not able to make money because they're on government assistance programs. So, but I put them on the PC Plus program, and I'm like, you're free to share it. You get free patches, and the money comes to me. So, but I mean, a lot of these people that have been thumbs up on my posts, I mean, I've been friends with them for probably a number of years. I was off Facebook for quite some time. So I'm just kind of coming back on. I mean, I've had Facebook for 10 years, 15 years or more. So, and a lot of these people that they've known me from different things. So, they do know me. It's just, last few years I haven't been too active because they've been a little rough. And so You know, I mean, there's a couple of them that I'd probably feel comfortable with just reaching out and saying, "Hey, I see you, you know, thumbs up on a lot of my posts. Do you have any? Did you want any extra information?"
Yeah,
You know,
well, I was going to suggest that if you know them, then, you don't have to wait for them to ask you something on social media. You can just give them a call and just, say, hey, like you just said, hey, I saw you thumbs up. What do you know? Ask them, what do they know about stem cells to get the conversation started. And most people don't know anything, like I didn't.
Mhm.
And then you can start the education process, give them a little bit of information and say, hey, listen, I want to send you something. And, would it be okay if I followed up with you in a couple days?
Okay.
And then see how you go from there.
All right, let's move it on a little bit. I hope that helped you, Jennifer. It's
Yes.
obviously a learning process. I want to bring up Dr. Alls, Maria. She is a physician. That's Bob All's wife, and she's got a testimony for us. She had surgery recently. Are you there, Dr. Alls? You have to unmute yourself. Is she taking a nap, Bob? Bob's walking in the other part of the house. Okay, she'll come back to us in a minute. She's got an awesome testimony. Susan?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I went after somebody on my chicken list and they got in, big money people, and really excited about them. And then just some things happened physically with one of them, so kind of shut down. Matter of fact, didn't do anything. I mean, got on auto ship and that was it. But then all of a sudden today, she reached out and she's like, "I've got 3 people very interested." One of them was big time in Amway. And she goes, "Will you contact them for me?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And so I'd sent her the link to the, Zooms tonight and stuff. And so I called her. My question is, what do you do with this? So I answered her questions. And then I said, "Hey, listen, we'd love to have you on Zoom tonight so you can learn more." And the response,
Susan, hold on.
yeah,
Hey,
somebody's
Bob, hey,
talking
This is
there.
too
yeah,
confusing.
Bob's
Y'all are
talking.
all unmuted and Susan's, just
Hey.
hold for just a second.
Yeah, Bob, mute yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
Unmute me too, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I answered her questions. She was ready, wanted me to send her step by step how to sign up. She didn't want me to walk her through it. She said she knows this stuff. She's used to be big way in Amway. And when I invited her on the Zoom, here was her response. And I thought, I don't even know what to do with that. She goes, "Listen, we don't need any Zooms. We don't need any training. We've done all this. We know how to do it. We just need to know where to sign up."
Well, show her
You
where to
just let them
sign up.
go.
Show her where to sign up.
We did, but that's what I'm saying. You just let them go, and
Well, you let them go. They're going to be asking questions. I get a little leery when someone says, "I don't need any training." That makes me
Yeah.
nervous.
they're big.
Yeah,
They're big
But
horse people up
sign
in
them up.
Oklahoma, and somebody else had already hit them that were big horse people, but they came with their people here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I've just never had anybody in my life tell me that. So I was like, I didn't even know how to respond, but it was like, okay, hey, but hey, call me if you need any help signing up. But yeah, I'll send you a step by step how to do it. And I did that.
Okay.
So
Yes, I would send the step by step. I would also just say, hey, if by chance you would like to get into the community, I'd always send championmakers.com. And I want everyone to know, you have to meet people where they're at. I mean, that's an individual that's very prideful at the moment. They think they know it all. But I love the comment when Danny McDaniel said when he was a $45 million number 1 earner in our previous company. And when he made the decision to say yes with this business, he called his sponsor and said, "Okay, what do I do next? Because I've never done a business like this before." So with that individual, you did the right thing, Susan. Just let them be, but at least let them know that the championmakers.com is there for them. And who knows, maybe they'll be superstars. You don't know, but yeah, I'd be kind of leery about that too. It's like, yeah, we don't need any training. We know it all. Oh, okay. So you know everything about what we're doing here.
All right, let's move over
So, but
to,
that's okay. That's all good. Hey, that's awesome.
let's move over to Dr. Alls. She just had surgery and she and her husband, Bob, she's got a great testimony. So, Maria, Dr. Alls, are you there? Can you unmute? There you go.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, so I had gosh, how old am I? I don't know, 62. I had ankle surgery on what day? Tuesday. It was total ankle replacement, and he lengthened my Achilles, and he did a stabilization screw on my left. I'm sorry, on the medial side of my ankle. Anyway, I haven't taken a single pain pill, not one. Bob put the pain patches on the outside of my splint because he can't get to my skin, but he put the pain patches on the outside. I have what's the number, Bob? X39. Wore that. I started before surgery, and I didn't started that before surgery, doing it every day. And then I'm doing that bone one too now to help with bone healing.
Sure.
So I see my doctor tomorrow. I'm going to go in with my patches on my splint so he can see them. And I'm getting around with my knee scooter. And a friend came over last night to help me take a shower. And she's like, I can't believe you're just scooting all over the house. Like you didn't just have surgery a few days ago, and I had both my knees done in the past 2 years. So I'm almost going to have to say this recovery is a lot better than my knees have, other than I wish I could walk. But other than I can't walk, I'm really thankful.
That is so
awesome.
cool. So cool. Folks, there's a physician talking about using the patch, and we're grateful for that. I want to bring her husband up, Bob Alls, for a second. Bob's been in the business like 6 weeks and a few days, and he lollygagged around the first couple of weeks, but he just promoted to director just a couple of days ago. So he's doing an awesome job. He's got 2 managers and a lot other in the works. And Bob had an amazing testimony with the product also when he first got started. So Bob, why don't you kind of tell us about that?
Sure. Well, let me open with this. Donny is my sponsor. The first time I talked to him on the phone was when I called to sign up. He used the tools. All he did was send me some stuff, and I looked at the stuff, and I got on a Zoom. So use the tools, people. That's a fantastic way to introduce this business. So I got the patches in on a Sunday, and I've run in the past, but my knee was hurting real bad. So I thought, well, I have a magic patch on now. I'll go run. I tried to run, couldn't do it.
Tell them how much you run, Bob. It's not just trotting. Tell them a little about your running.
I run, well, until about 3 months ago, I was running about 6 miles, but then I hurt my knee. So I went 2 months without running until I got my patches. I get my patches, go out, didn't help my knee initially. I come back, I put the pain patch on. The pain just instantaneously went away. I put my body back on a 5-mile run, 0 pain. So that amazed me. And luckily I got a good result like that. The testimony, though, that has blown my mind is my former pastor from First Baptist Church of Iowa Park. And he can't be on this because he's at church right now. But he is 77, confined to a wheelchair the last 2 years, wanted me to send him some patches. I wouldn't do it because I knew that, he would just lollygag. So I said, hey, sign up, trust me, blah, blah, blah. Well, he got his patches in. First day, he calls me and said the pain in his shoulder and his neck was gone. Well, that was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He is not in a wheelchair anymore. David Jones is walking all over his house. His wife said that she can't keep him in his wheelchair. He has all this energy. He's walking in to do meetings because that's a pretty big testimony when you've been in a wheelchair and then you walk in to do a meeting. So this product is amazing.
Wow.
Wow, thank you, Bob. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir.
Share that tonight, Bob.
Hey, any of you, any other newbies or anybody have any more questions? We got Mark here, and we appreciate that. I know he's got another one to go to. What time's your next one, Mark?
Well, our team calls at 8 o'clock. That's it for everybody. That's for the
Okay.
Champion Makers team.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Mark, yeah, that's Jennifer again.
Yeah.
So I know we some of us have heard from Steve Fisher kind of on his story from his side of, getting in that you pretty much sprinkled on him, for like 8-9 months, even though he
Yeah.
kept telling you that wasn't
It was
interested.
about- it was 11.
Huh?
It was
11. From your perspective, and obviously you knew he was going to be a big fish. I don't know if he was potentially on your chicken list or not, but when somebody, especially if they emphatically tell you no,
Mhm.
but you just want to sprinkle on them because you know that they could potentially be great, on coming from you on your side, your approach to Steve Fisher.
Okay. So actually, Steve wasn't even on my chicken list because I knew. I mean, I mean, my philosophy is I know people are, they're focused doing what they're doing, but Steve made a post on Facebook about Diane was having some physical problems, and so I reached out to him for Diane. That was it, and just saying, hey, here's something, here's a technology. So I approached it as the patch, not the business at all. And I sent him information, which is the same as, I send him the same as everyone else does. I send him this is an info, take a look at it. And then we talked a little bit, and possibly from his perspective, he thought maybe I was trying to recruit him, but I really wasn't. It was more about helping Diane, but if someone says, hey, I know I'm not interested, at least be bold enough to ask, is it okay if I at least keep you posted about what's going on? And if they tell you no, you have to honor what they say. If they just flat out, no, I don't want to know anything, and then I just say, okay, but then I'd say, what is it okay? Maybe if I touch base with you about 6 months later, so I'll at least try. Maybe then they might open up. Yeah, reach out to me 6 months because maybe they might think you're not even going to be in it. But when you put it on your calendar to call 6 months later and they realize you're still doing it, that holds validity that you're sticking with whatever you started with. But Steve or even everyone else that I deal with on my follow-up list is that, once I call them and I send them to this as an info, then I start, it's more I drip on them. If I see something on Patching with Purpose or This Is It Facebook page where someone's posting a text about a testimony, or we do a Zoom call and there's the one Zoom call that we did with the doctors that Danny did, and I saved those sections and then I sprinkle those in my text saying, hey, here's Steve, just an example here, Steve, here's something I think you might find interesting that might help Diane, because the main purpose was Diane, so I was sending things for him for that purpose. And but if it's for someone that I'm really trying to get into the business, then I'm sending more business things to them. Here, if I send a Zoom to somebody, I try to emphasize, hey, you got to listen to this testimony, say 27 minutes in, so I'm trying to get them, hey, you got to watch this testimony. And sometimes I'll tell people, just skip the first 20 minutes, just get to the testimonies. If it's really about, I want them to know about the power of the patch, but I'm constantly using these little, testimonies of Facebook or whatever that I'm dripping on the people that they can read. And, sometimes they read them, sometimes they don't. But but your obligation is just to don't forget about them. Just keep sending them information. And just like, Myron said, when you're doing stuff on Facebook, people are watching, they're seeing what you're posting, and when they're ready, they're ready. But just keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop following up with people, because they, eventually they'll come around. We just got someone signed up. We just got his wife signed up, and we talked to him September 7th, 2023, right after we just got our patches. We didn't even get our patches yet. And I saw him and I just said, here, I know you said your wife's really in bad shape. You might want to take a look at this thing that, we just ordered. And he was still on my chicken list. I still just text him stuff. And you know what? That's a long time. What, 17 months later, he decides to come on board. So just to let you guys know, don't forget about anybody. You just don't know when their time is. Just keep following up with them.
Hey, and listen, for the new people, the brand new people, don't think that we're kinky, okay? When we talk about dripping or all that on somebody, that doesn't mean that doesn't sound good, but we're just sending follow-up videos to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, you're right. I got to watch for the words I say because sometimes I know what
Well,
you're saying.
everybody says them. That's what we do when we drip on somebody.
That was my words. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. Keep dripping.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else got anything?
I do. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
You can?
Yes, Judy.
Okay. I had one of my customers about a month ago. She approached me with the patches and she gave me some samples and she said to put it behind my neck, down where it says to put it during the day. And then she told me to put one at night right below my navel. She just only gave me like a 3-day sample. And of course it didn't do anything for me, in those 3 days. But when I was watching the videos this morning, it was saying that you wear one behind your neck. Do you just wear one patch a day? Do you know, or
Are you talking just X39?
yes?
Yeah, just wear one X39, but you wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and switch the locations each day.
Okay. Well, she never followed up with it. I think somebody else is trying to get her to sell it somewhere. I never even heard of it until she said to me something about it, and I tried them, and she never really followed up or anything. And so my brother, who is Bob Walls, is my brother. He approached me with it, and of course, I signed up under him. But I was wondering if she had me putting it on wrong, or I wasn't sure. She never really said anything. She just told me to put one on my neck, my belly. So
Hey, let me tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. You need to invest $24 in a patch manual. Now, you don't have to, but because the information's available. But I suggest you go to Amazon and get a patch manual authored by Dr. Jen O'Sullivan. There are some other patch manuals, but all of those questions will be answered in those. Again, those answers are available right now. You just have to dig a little bit for them. I mean, I'm told by people that have been in this a long time that it doesn't make any difference where you put the patch. Okay? Those places on your neck and below your belly button are shown because that's the places that they used when they were filing for the patents and when they were doing the what is it, Mark?
All the double-blind case studies.
Yeah, they had to use certain places and that's where they used them. So, but I'm telling you, you can put it anywhere.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere. Yeah, but her telling you wear it on the neck and then the next day you wear it. You just continually wear them. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't even know what they're talking about. But I think, Judy, what you just said is that someone gave you samples, and I don't give people samples really because a lot of times you're setting yourself up for issues because if you give 3 days, your miracle might not be for 2 weeks. Or you might not notice anything because you got other stuff going on in your body. So I'm saying here, so you're already thinking, if I don't feel something 3 days, these things don't work.
right.
But the other one was her not following up with you, and then Bob called you. This happened to me. I had someone sign up with us 3 days ago. I mean, I saw her. I was following the system, sent her the information. She signs up with us. And she just found out her best friend's been in LifeWave for a year, and her best friend's never even called her. And now her best friend's mad at her because she signed up with us instead of her.
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you know, but you like I say, you gotta, you know, if you got people's names, I just say use what I just said as urgency, because don't have your best friend sign up with somebody else because you haven't called them, or you're not following up with people, and the people that you got started end up signing up with someone else because you forgot to follow up with them. I mean, follow up, your fortune's in your follow up. I mean, if you've already made the caring initiative to start a conversation with somebody, at least give them the courtesy and follow up just to make sure you got all their questions answered. We can get them, you know, at least on the patch or get them in the business.
This is an awesome topic, and this should teach all of us. You better get out and talk to the people you know, because someone else is going to. I promise you, this thing is exploding across the world. Go talk to people that you know, use the videos, cut and paste, and introduce it to the people. Or someone else is gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody else got anything? We've just entered over an hour, and we've made some good progress. Mo, what about you? Are you covered? Vanessa, Juanita, Norman, anybody?
Mark, this is Myron. Got a quick question. If you're inactive, can you make retail sales or no?
Yes, and if you're a brand partner and you have someone that does a retail sale or someone that does a preferred customer for the month, that will keep you qualified. But I do say this, don't put all your eggs in that basket, because if that person doesn't reorder the next month and you forget about it, you lose your volume. Yeah, don't rely on someone else's order to keep you active.